Welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast with your host, Chris Anderson. In this show, Chris and his guests will share their knowledge and experience on how to go from zero to successful entrepreneur. They have built their businesses from scratch and are now ready to give back to those who are just starting. Let's get ready to learn, grow, and elevate our businesses. And now, your host, Chris Anderson.
Today, I'm going to walk you through the podcast funnel for business growth. So how to utilize your podcast to grow your business and keep everything streamlined. If you've got a podcast and you're like, how can I use this to grow my business? Or you have a business and you're thinking like, what do I need to do to increase or better my funnel? And podcasting is in your thought process. I'm going to show you how you can implement that podcast again into your funnel to flow or revenue into your business. Let's get started with it. All right. So it's pretty simple. You've got your podcast at the top. In the episodes, you have the call to action. From the call to action, you send them to a landing page for either your lead magnet or the thing you're selling. So to start things off, obviously you have your social media presence, your online presence, the content you're putting out, which the content you're putting out can come from your podcast recordings. There's that. So you got what you're putting out there into the ether, into the atmosphere, into the world of social media to draw an audience in to your podcast. So then when they come to your podcast, one, the content you're putting out there is free value already you're giving. Then they come to your podcast, that's more free value that you're giving and blowing them away by. And then during your episode that they're listening to, you have a call to action at the end. That's the next step. So your podcast, your call to action. The call to action is telling people, hey, now that you've listened to this episode, here's another thing I have to help you. And so you send them to your free value-packed lead magnet, whatever that is. So let's trace back a little bit. So your social media, free value, podcast episode, free value. Then your call to action, sending them to your free value-packed lead magnet. So after the call to action, it sends them to the landing page for that lead magnet. And then that collects their information to build your email list. So you can have an email campaign go out. This email campaign is a process that nurtures that lead even more, leading them closer to the sales page or the sales call or your product and service. Again, through this email campaign, you're adding additional value. And eventually, it gets to the point where it sends them to the sales page if it's a lower ticket item, or it sends them to a page to schedule a sales call if it's a higher ticket item. Either way, you can send them to a sales page. One's just going to have them buy directly on the site, or the second one's going to tell them to set up a call so your sales team can close them on a high ticket offer. Podcast, free value, with a call to action at the end of the episode, leading them to your free lead magnet, which collects their information into your email system, which starts the email campaign for them, which adds more value and gets them warmed up and leads them to your landing page or sales page for your low ticket offer or for a sales call for your high ticket offer. You close it and you have the conversion. And of course, once you have that conversion, you still want to have nurturing value for them. Maybe that's a special podcast episode only for clients. Maybe that's a live stream. Maybe that's a Zoom call, live stream, Zoom call or something like that they only get. Maybe it's a special email sequence that they get with more value, with bonus material. Or it is, you want to continue to nurture them so they become repeat customers, stay a customer, or bring more customers to you. So that's why video podcasts are such a crucial piece to your marketing, your business funnel, because not only does it draw people towards your product or service in a different way because you built the trust there, but it adds so much more value and gives us so much more through the content you can create from it and push it on social media. And then, of course, what people learn from you and get from you while listening. And then on top of that, it opens up the doors for collaborations or having guests on that become clients or vice versa, things like that. It's the top of the funnel that leads directly down to more revenue, but it's in a position where people can organically find it as well. A lot simpler, especially if your SEO and your title and your description and things of that nature are really spot on with it. And on top of that, if you're doing a video podcast, then you have your audio form of it and your YouTube channel all at the head. So you got this big open funnel up here that people are searching for and looking for that then starts to funnel people in, and you can build that trust and you can build that like, know, and trust factor a lot faster through that. So That's the simplicity of how to use a podcast to make more money with your business. The thing is, you just have to stick with it and be consistent and get things done and not try to add too much other external things. Just keep it streamlined until you get that revenue up to a certain point before trying to expand out on it. So I hope that cleared things up on how to use a podcast in your funnel and create a funnel with your podcast as the top. Obviously, there's a lot of other ways to make money from your podcast. And that's another episode I did previously. So go back and check that out. But just the layout, the structure of using a podcast as your top of funnel, that's what I wanted to go through today. So hopefully it brought some clarity, brought some ideas for you, some things you can implement and continue to go out and elevate your brand, elevate what you're doing. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Podcasting is more popular than ever. And if you're considering starting a show, you need the right partner. That's where Buzzsprout comes in. Buzzsprout is the platform we use to host and distribute our podcast. It's easy to get started with just some gear you already have and a quiet space. And if you want to upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find the right equipment at the right price. But Buzzsprout is more than just a hosting platform. They'll get your show listed in every major podcast platform, give you a great-looking podcast website, audio players you can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episodes, and more. And if you need help, the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. They have a massive library of resources to help you get started and grow your audience. So if you're ready to start your podcast journey, join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. And remember, following the link in our show notes gets you a $20 credit if you sign up for a paid plan and helps support our show. Buzzsprout is the right partner for your podcasting journey. Let's get your show out there. Thank you for listening to the Elevate Media Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. See you in the next episode.